Dear students, today we are going to study a new story, Hearts and Hands, written by O. Henry. Let's know about the story. O. Henry is the pen name of the American writer William Sidney Porter. Ready wit, gentle humor, consciousness, and surprise ending have been the hallmarks of his short stories. The story, Hearts and Hands, has an underlying theme of the truth versus the lie. It speaks about how appearances can be deceiving and that a small harmless ruse can also brighten up a person's day. We have been taught that the truth is the ultimate definition of goodness and purity of emotion. However, the character of the grumpy marshal, whom the readers at first believed to be a ruthless criminal, was in reality a nice person who could show kindness to someone who was a perpetrator of illegal actions. Let's go to the summary and analysis of the story. The story Hearts and Hands is set on a train eastbound BM Express, where an elegantly dressed, luxurious, pretty young woman, Miss Fairchild, meets by chance one of his old acquaintances, Mr. Edson. Mr. Edson greets her with his left hand, and his right hand is handcuffed with the left hand of another glum-faced, heavily built, and roughly dressed man seated next to him. Miss Fairchild is surprised to see that they are handcuffed. Sensing Mr. Edson's embarrassment, the second man comes to the rescue by explaining that Mr. Edson is a marshal who is taking him to Leavenworth prison as he has got 7 years of jail term for counterfeiting. This gives Miss Fairchild some relief as she started to think something bad about her old friend. Then they continue the conversation further. Fairchild comes to know that Mr. Edson has given up his luxurious life in Washington and has taken the job of a marshal in the West. Then the woman says she also loves the West and wants to live there. At that point, the second man demands that he must be taken to the smoker now as he hasn't had a smoke all day. So, Mr. Edson rises and leaves with that man, bidding goodbye to the woman. Two other passengers in a nearby seat heard the entire conversation. One of them comments that the man, Mr. Edson, holds such a prestigious post of a marshal at a very young age. Then the other man comments that he has never seen an officer to handcuff a prisoner to his right hand. So, at the very end of the story, we come to know that actually the glum-faced man is the officer and Mr. Edson is the prisoner. Let us know the themes of the story. In a world where people are generally intolerant towards people who are different from them in culture, ethnicity, and religion, this officer shows exceptional tolerance. Criminals are generally treated with a lot of insults, humiliation, and cruelty. Some would even say rightly so, but this act of kindness can have a far greater impact upon the psychology of Edson than any punishment or terms of imprisonment can ever have. The memory of the conversation he had with the pretty Miss Fairchild can help him endure the darkest nights in prison while also giving him hope for a better world waiting for him outside. Let us know the conclusion of the story. The author, O. Henry, has created a unique place for himself in the field of literature, and the charming personality which he brings to his writing is irresistible. His stories are both at once predictable and unpredictable. Predictable when if the reader knows everything about the author, then they are definitely expecting a surprise ending, and unpredictable because of the way he twists the tale at the very end, just when you are least expecting it. All in all, his stories provide an interesting read, and the story, Hearts and Hands, is no exception. Let's revise the story. Reminding you, read the story from the textbook. Thank you.